Everyday domestic objects, all carefully mounted and displayed, all avidly collected over many years by a Nobel Prize laureate for a very unusual small museum.
These are little pictures in my childhood, little pictures of football and movie stars would get out of chewing gums or even little bad sugars. And there is a nostalgia about those collections.
Everything is displayed in boxes or vitrines, reminiscent of the American artist Joseph Cornell and his 20th century assemblages. Orhan Pamuk started collecting way back in the mid-1990s around his home city of Istanbul. Thousands and thousands of objects, all with the intention in time of making a museum out of them.
I imagine you in Istanbul collecting anything you fancy in the flea markets, wherever.
Yes. The objects in Museum of Innocence, 99% I collected them from friends, from flea markets in Istanbul, from families. They are daily life objects, kitchen utensils, government papers, things that you need to survive in Istanbul like every other city.
What did your friends and family say to you when you collected these things? I mean, you had a compulsion.
Yeah, my friends and families first, they didn't want me to be a writer. When I said to the same friends and family, this time I'm going to do a museum, they said, don't do it. But I'm happy that I did it.
Did they try to discourage you?
Yes, but not too much. In the end, they knew that I would follow my own humors.
At 63, Pamuk has been absorbed in this extraordinary arts project for the last 20 years or so. The public first became aware of it with his novel, The Museum of Innocence, published in 2008. Kemal, an upper-middle-class secular Turk, falls obsessively for his distant cousin, a shop girl called Fusun.
The love story does not go well, and he collects everything she touches. Later, everything that reminds him of her.
It is literally everything. Her lipstick, the matches she uses to light her endless cigarettes.
Welcome to the Museum of Innocence. This is Orhan Pamuk. This audio guide has been prepared to guide you through our museum.
The Museum of Innocence, the museum, opened in Istanbul in 2012, 4 years after the novel came out. 83 vitrines to match the 83 chapters of the novel. All the objects that the fictional Kemal collected.
I thought of the museum as I was writing the novel, and I thought of the novel as I was doing the museum. But I conceived the novel and the museum simultaneously. It's not that I had one day a successful love story and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a museum of it. No. At the beginning, I had the idea that I will write a love story and do a museum in which all the objects of that love story will be exhibited.
Orhan Pamuk originally wanted to be a painter. These vitrines, some pretty surreal, pretty Dali-esque, have clearly brought the artist out of him. Now his big idea has just been turned into a film as well.
There is a story to tell every time people and objects meet. Stories exist within time. That time I bought this white handbag. That time I picked up this salt shaker. That time I dropped this earring. That time I saw this newspaper. That time I kicked this red ball. That time I wound that clock. That time I looked at this view. There is always a story to tell.
I'm attached to Istanbul. Istanbul made me. I can't think of living in another town.
And then there is Turkey's refugee problem. Over 2 million refugees fleeing neighboring war zones.
I'm happy that Angela Merkel took 900,000 refugees. It's very respectable, and it lent a lot of prestige to Germany and to European Union. European Union is based, we can sum it up as on the idea of égalité, liberté, and fraternité. If you close the door, there is no fraternity. And once you lost the fraternity, you lose the prestige of idea of Europe.
In his own words, Orhan Pamuk has always had one eye on the West. He's brought part of his Museum of Innocence to London, 13 vitrines. He's also here to remind us that Europe perhaps needs to be more fraternal over refugees. Nick Glass for TRT World, London.